Pisces, welcome to Pure Tarot. So I'm doing a reading on March 18th. It's the full moon in Virgo. It's opposing your sign at the end of Virgo. So if you're Piscean born at this day, right, you're having a particular emphasis on your essence, on who you are deeply. It's going to be a very important day for you. So be mindful of your thoughts and your emotions. They will be creating a lot of beautiful manifestations for you. So, but overall, for the whole sign, it's still very auspicious. It is a little bit intense. The moon is alone in Virgo, and all the other planets are on the other side of the zodiac in Aquarius, Pisces, and Taurus. So it's sort of the moon is on her own, but she also is aspecting almost everybody, quote unquote. So there's something really interesting about that. And I'm curious about how that's going to translate for you in these cards. So we're going to look. I'm going to start with an oracle card. That's the astrology. It's a general statement I've made. Obviously, your natal chart has to come into play. You might want to look at that. How the transits are aspecting your own natal placements. And what I've said won't necessarily apply to everyone, right? So take some, leave some, please. Same for the reading. So let's draw an overarching energy here. Okay, you have no need to worry. So let's draw some tarot and get some clarification. I'm using 2 different decks. I'm not imposing a theme as, for example, this is not a love reading per se, or career, or whatever. We're just going to let the cards reveal what they want. And either the 2 decks will be clarifying one another, or maybe it'll be showing us 2 sides of a situation or a relationship. Let's take a look at that. So I have Page of Swords, 7 of Cups, Death, and Page of Cups. Bottom of the deck, I have the 7 of Wands. I don't know, I've placed the deck. I don't know if it should have been read in upright or reverse, but let's leave it in reverse. I don't want to overthink this. And I'm going to go and see if the cards on the other side want to show up. If they want to be drawn right away so that we can have the full picture, or if I might do this in 2 different steps. It's asking another to wait, right? To just start with you or start with the left side. I love that all the cards are upright. Let me put them in a row here. Ducks in a row. That's interesting. Maybe you need to put your ducks in a row. It'll alleviate your worry about a particular thing, situation, relationship, whatever that is for you. There's something you're extremely curious about. You need more information. There's definitely communication that you're interested in either obtaining or maybe expressing. Has to do with having a lot on the table, a lot of things that you are either contemplating of tackling or that you are actually tackling at the moment. Doesn't have to be 7 things, but you might feel a sense of being scattered. I mean, there's a lot of restlessness. It's not necessarily restlessness, but there's a lot of energy invested in many places. So maybe a little bit of feeling scattered, not necessarily being scattered, but maybe it's a little overwhelming, right? And hence back to the worry card about feeling like it's a lot. Could be also the intensity of the full moon coming through for you. Information coming to light that, you know, either helps you make a choice or actually doesn't. And I kind of want to say maybe not yet. You're maybe not yet able to make a choice. Maybe you get information on different things and it's maybe confusing you even more, making you even more undecided, you know. You might just need a little time. I think you need to let it macerate. It has to sort of sink in. It has to sort of filter through like your own layers, inward layers. Almost like, I have the word decomposition, right? So almost like you have to treat all of this information that came through and sort of pull it apart, decompose each component in order maybe to have a better assessment or view, or simply to have really a clear understanding of where you decide to direct your energy. I mean, the rider is going somewhere, right? Even if it's the death rider. It moves, it's, how do you say that word? Inéluctable in French. It's like unavoidable. I think it's the same word in English. I don't know, I'm not sure. Inéluctable. It just means like the progression is absolutely unstoppable, right? So it's really interesting because you won't be able to sit on this choice, right? For like way too long or just too long, or at some point you will have to make a decision. And I think maybe this Page of Cups here, once all the information sort of gets sorted out or sifted through, or however you want to put it, or simply almost like digested, right? Almost like assimilated. You know, it is full moon in Virgo, so all these words totally apply, right? Like all of your, it's really digesting, assimilating, analyzing, sifting, and eventually coming to a synthesis, and conclusion. And so maybe this Page of Cups here at the end is sort of the end result, right? I mean, there is one cup. There is something, it's one out of these different options, right? And usually this is being presented to you. So, I mean, it's one way of seeing it. You could decide to apply it like that. I mean, out of this process, maybe the way I sense it is that it's not necessarily being offered like from an external source as much as the sifting through is isolating this one cup, right? And it's sort of making it stick out. And then it becomes the thing that you know that you have to grab onto. Like, that's the thing that stands out and that you need to act on. That's how I'm reading it. So let's see if the cards on the other side want to come out. And let's see if it clarifies in any way this particular thing that you're feeling overwhelmed. Okay, there's a bunch. I'm gonna take that. Okay, so Page of Pentacles in reverse, the Three of Wands in reverse, the King of Cups in reverse. That's a lot of reversals. Ten of Swords in reverse, and the Eight of Cups. So let's say this talks about the process of assimilating information and having something to work out, whether it's internally or something exterior to you that you have to choose from. I feel like the end decision and like what you choose to do in the end comes through here as leaving it behind and knowing that you can put it to rest, and that you've probably gone through every possibility, and that the process of the decay is complete, and that it's an extremely positive outcome for you. The difficult part here, excuse me, is maybe what I would describe here as these three cards being the assimilation, digestion, or like the what you need to process, right? It feels, because of the King of Cups in reverse, it has to do with either your own emotions or someone else outside of you that maybe you really cared for because of the cups. So it's difficult for me to necessarily pinpoint it, and I don't want to make the reading too specific. So let me just try and get a high level view instead of trying to work out the details of this, right? But this Page of Pentacles in reverse tells me that along with the Three of Wands in reverse together, tell me that it feels like a missed opportunity, or like missing, how can I put it, like I'm hearing you've abandoned a dream. I think maybe this is you then. It feels like you gave up on something, a dream that you had, a particular whim. And I don't want to minimize this dream or this goal as just a whim, but it comes through as being very fleeting, right? Because of that energy behind it of being so immaterial and virtual and not yet fully formed, and maybe not even concrete. But it feels like you gave up on something even before it even became palpable. And I almost want to say that you kind of gave up on yourself, right? And it has to do with your emotions. It's almost like either this particular dream or goal felt unattainable and you decided to shelf it as, okay, well, let me grab on to a different wish or desire that, you know, that after analysis and really careful consideration and sitting and probably meditation and sleeping on things, and, you know, maybe even asking yourself the harder questions around it, has actually geared you in the right, to make the right choice, right? In accord with, like I was telling you about, the Death Rider, sorry, was going to is kind of moving inexorably towards something, right? So there's just no way of ignoring the push from inside. And maybe that's why you've given up on this first option. I sense it's a wise decision because the Ten of Swords is in reverse, right? So you would have felt, especially with these two cards together, that it was the end of a cycle. Whether you felt it only intuitively or that it was maybe more readily sort of measurable in terms of, okay, these actions haven't yielded any results, or you know what I mean, in terms of like, yeah, results, right? Anyway, because it was still a dream, right, or a goal, so it's difficult to even assess if it even yielded any results, but for some reason you intuitively felt that it needed to be let go. I've been seeing, this Eight of Cups is quite different from the usual depictions. This person has a book and he's got this sort of look on his face. He's frowning a little bit. I think he's in deep concentration. And the book for me also expresses, he does have a pen and he's holding a cup, but I mean, it could be, actually, no, it's not a pen. I don't know, it's hard to tell. Like, it looks like he's holding something in his fingers, but it might just be the drawing, it might just be like a detail of his cloak there. Yeah, I think that's what it is. So maybe I'm wrong about, it looked like he was holding those ink feather pens, right? Like these, I don't know, how do you say that? And I was thinking that this little cup here was like the cup with the ink. So I was thinking it was adding, not just reading out of the book, but maybe journaling, writing down those feelings, those thoughts, in order to better, to put them outside of you and see them clearly, to get the insight necessary. I don't know, but it's if I'm wrong about that, then you can leave that out. It was my first impression, but the book, I do want to emphasize the book, and I've been saying about this card that it brings in the idea of knowledge. So I think it's an enlightened decision to walk away, right, based on information you would have gotten. So that's what I wanted to say, really. So I'm going to draw a trinket. I didn't look at the Seven of Wands, and it's fine. I'm not going to, because I did tell you that I didn't know if the way I put down the deck prior, right, I didn't really pay attention enough to know if I'm looking at the Seven of Wands in the right direction. Was it upright? Was it reversed? And I'm not going to bring it in. If you want to bring it in for yourself, by all means do, but I'm not going to apply any interpretation. It's a choice. But it's there. It's on the table. Let's get a trinket or two. Oh, wow. So I got one beautiful one. It's the infinity symbol. So figure 8, of course. The infinity symbol is found on the Strength card, and I believe, I might be mistaken, might be also linked to the Magician to a degree, but let's just, I know for sure it's on the Strength card. So you might have Leo placements, you might know a Leo, but overall, I also want to point to the fact that Leo speaks about the sun and the heart and courage. So, I was describing at the beginning of the reading, Pisces, that if you're Piscean born today, or even just, 2 days before, 2 days after this full moon, your sun would be, your natal sun would be definitely involved in this, in all of these transits. And this would be particularly important for you in terms of your essence, in terms of your infinite essence. And I really would want to invite you to reflect deeply on, you know, this sun here that you are uncovering. So maybe aspects of yourself that were unknown to you, that were hidden, that were in the dark, in the Scorpio and Pluto realms of your personality or your being or your psyche, however you choose to look at it. But I sense this, a beautiful, how can I say that? It's almost like with the infinity symbol, it's like you're coming back to yourself. You know, you always come back to yourself. It's also being the infinity symbol. It's like you keep rediscovering yourself, which is very scorpionic in terms of death, rebirth, and constant self-recreation. It's beautiful. It's extremely potent. This trinket is bringing in a lot of depth to this picture. I would just tell you that this is really if you have any conscious awareness of what you're going through, of your thoughts and your emotions at the moment, I'm sure you're following me. I'm sure that you're well aware of something going on with you that is very different from any other phases in your life. And I feel it's extremely positive. It might not be easy. I do feel I'm not going to use the word worry that's on this card. It's being a little bit overwhelmed. But you'll get through this. Definitely. So I really hope this resonated for you. I mean, it was a pleasure reading this, truly, fellow Pisces. So please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Thank you so much for being here.